everybody. Today I'm here with the Cage Warriors lightweight champion Mason the Dragon Jones. Mason, thanks for your time. It is an honor to interview you.
No, thanks for having me on. Like I said, big fan.
Mason, how are you?
Very good. Yeah, I had a MMA training class this morning, so it was a good hard session. Getting back into camp, ready for September the 24th, 25th, or 26th, depending on where they want me to fight and who. But training's going well, and I'm just getting ready now, waiting for news.
Mason, first of all, can you tell us what do you think about the COVID-19 emergency and how your daily life and your workouts have changed?
Well, obviously, it's something that obviously has been given much needed severity. Many people have died. It's obviously closed gyms, closed works. Like I said, I've got friends who have been affected. I've got friends who have died from it. So, like, I understand the severity of it, and we've really tried to make sure that contact has been minimal. And obviously, we do everything we're told: keep the meter distance, wash hands, wear masks, whatever that obviously helps manage the disease. And we've stuck to it all the way through. So, as a pro, I've been back training probably the last couple of weeks, and yeah, it's just there's only so much you can do. So it's trying to obviously keep the severity and understand how bad it is, but obviously also trying to get back to normality and trying to train and compete and get ready for my UFC call-up.
Mason, how did start your passion for the MMA?
So I started MMA back when I was 7. Is that what you're on about? Yeah. Sorry. I started MMA back when I was 7. So it was the first gym I went to was a sort of freestyle kickboxing gym, and they did sort of self-defense classes, which was basically early ends on said MMA. So I trained there. Richard Shaw there, Jack Shaw trained there. Joe Duffy trained there. Like, we was all training in the same gym. Jack Marshman trained there. So it was sort of the earliest thing, and they started the striking grappling shows, which was more the Pain Pit used for their sort of base. Pain Pit was bought out by Cage Warriors Wales and is now the Cage Warriors Wales card. So for Wales, that was like the earliest shows. I started my career there. Then I spread it in different martial arts. I did high-level judo, high-level BJJ, did training camps in Brazil, Las Vegas for boxing, different parts of Spain for judo, Turkey for judo. Like, I've done, I was ranked in judo, very highly ranked in judo for the sort of British scene. Was sort of touched upon the European stages, but never really made a big statement. Did well in jiu-jitsu, in BJJ again in Britain. And I had a decent kickboxing career. My pro boxing, I went 3-0, and then it was just sort of everything after I started kickboxing was to do with MMA. Like, everything was aiming towards coming back into MMA, and I think it's done me well. I've got a good all-round base. I'm more than ready for wherever the fight goes.
So you do prefer the striking, not the ground game?
I like it all. I just think MMA at the minute, there's more money in striking. So if you're a good striker, then obviously there's more interest in you. It's hard. Like, I'm a good all rounder. I've got good jiu-jitsu. I'm a BJJ black belt. I've got very good wrestling. I'm a judo black belt. And I've got a very, very in-depth wrestling game, especially after training out in Team Alpha Male with all the Americans out there. So I'm ready for wherever the fight goes. But I just think, like I said, there's more interested in striking. Like every fan prefers a striking match. I know there's a select few of purists who do love the jiu-jitsu, same as I love a good jiu-jitsu match. But it's just more money in striking. So I'm just building up for all I've been doing really is using a lot of my fights to build experience striking, so that if I need to, I'll take you down, I'll submit you. Otherwise, I'll keep you straight. I'll keep you standing. But I've got the base to go anywhere, and I've got the skills to go anywhere.
Mason, I know your nickname is the Dragon. How was it born?
So the dragon's a mix of two things. So obviously the Welsh flags, it's a background with a big red dragon on the front. So I've always liked the nationality of the flag, and I've always appreciated that. And then there was on a UFC stage, I think it's got potential to be something big, and it's I think the US fans would like it. And then it was the whole mindset of the dragon thing, so keeping calm and keeping a cool mindset while you keep all the fire in your belly, sort of thing. Like I love those type of things. So for me, the dragon was an easy fix, and it was an easy fit.
Mason, in the world of MMA, many professional wrestlers have decided that they are not paid enough. Can you tell us your personal experience and your opinion on it?
So MMA is still an upcoming fighting sport. Obviously, boxing, I was pro boxer for 2 years. And just my experiences in it is that, like, a lot of the MMA fighters sort of aim for the high percentage of boxers who get paid big purses. But it's only the top 10% of boxers who get paid the big money. All the rest of them, like, unless you're fighting in the US, you're defending for world titles and you're signed by the right managers and selling the tickets, there's not a lot of money, and boxing's really cutthroat. So MMA is a growing sport. The purses are getting bigger all the time. Obviously, like Habib in his last fight against Poirier, he got paid $5 million. So it's still not compared to obviously the 50 million or the 100 million you see in boxing sometimes, but it's still a big payout. So I think we're on the right track and we're improving, and it's just part of the process. So a lot of fighters you're fighting in UFC struggling to make ends meet and sort of see the profits side of things, and it's hard. So everyone wants to earn big money and everyone wants to be the sort of big celebrity doing in the big ticket fights and the big ticket money, but there's only going to be a small percentage of fighters who will, and eventually I think MMA will increase in money, and by the time I'm in UFC and I'm fighting for the title, I think there'll be big money available in the next 5 years, because it's the way it's just going to increase. So we've just got to wait and see and sort of keep pushing for more money, and just keep being good fighters and keep putting on good performances, and eventually we'll get paid what we're worth.
Mason, you are a fighter from the Wolves. How much are MMA considered in your country?
So MMA is really big in Wales. We've got a good upcoming sort of MMA society sort of thing. There's a lot of people who train, compete in combat sports, and there's a lot of people now who are really pushing for MMA. Obviously, we're doing well on a UFC front. We've got people like Jack Shaw, Jack Marshman, Brett Johns, John Phillips, all pushing through and really doing impact, really making impacts in UFC. And then on the Bellator side of things, we've got a couple of good fighters coming through. Lou Long's another good one. He's a good prospect to watch for in Bellator, and like all these guys are really pushing hard, and they're really helping to put the country on the map. I think it's just a matter of time. Like some of the upcomers who are coming through are going to be next level, and like I said, I'm willing to show exactly what I can do, and it's not going to be a long time signed and start doing damage through UFC.
You have a professional record of 9 wins and no losses. What was your best moments and what was the most difficult?
So the best moment so far would be not so much the belt going around my waist, but being able to present to show my family and present my family afterwards. Just seeing like how happy my coaches were, and being able to obviously finish that fight the way I did with a knockout. It was just it really sort of sealed it for an iconic moment in my career. And the most difficult part of my career in MMA would probably, it'd probably be the fight against Casper Famela. Casper come out early and put me under a bit of stress, and I come back and finished him in 4 minutes. So I think that just shows the way my career has gone so far, that I haven't really had many difficult moments, and that my career has gone swimmingly.
How do you feel about being unbeaten?
Positive, really positive. Like this is something I've known for years, and it's nice to show how good I am compared to everyone else. And I've got on the run I have, and I've told the boys I've fought apart. So it's really good to show the sort of the level that I'm at, and like how much better I can get, so that people really start to understand that I am legit and that I'm ready for UFC now and to push on and start improving through the UFC ranks. But sort of as a negative point of view, I really don't feel pressure when it comes to fight. Like some people sort of expect that because I'm undefeated and I've done where I am, that some people sort of get the assumption that I'm going to be feeling pressure, and it's not the same sort of thing for me. Like I enjoy before I fight, and I enjoy being in there, and it's sort of the worst moment for me is when it's done and then you have to wait all that time for another fight. So I don't really feel pressure that way. I just enjoy myself in there and do the best I can. And if I'm the better fighter on the night, I'm going to win. And the way I train, the way I prepare, I'm always going to be the better fighter.
Mason, the next week, many former Cage Warriors champions will make their Fight Island debut. Do you believe in a call also in short notice by the greatest promotion on the planet, or the UFC?
100%. So if they rang tomorrow and said we're looking for a 155er to fight on the Fight Island cards, I'd sign straight away. I'd be ready to go. I'm more than prepared, and I'm ready to make my debut. So it all just depends on being ready. But yeah, the UFC is doing great things, and the Fight Island is going so well. I'm jealous. I don't get a fight on Fight Island. I mean, who wouldn't want to be flown to an island, tropical island, to fight in the sun? But obviously, I've got some friends going out there. Nad Narmani's fighting. Jack Shaw, like I said. Some of the Scousers I know are fighting. Marshman's going to be fighting. John Phillips is going to be fighting. Brett John's going to be fighting. Jack Shaw. Like, these are all the guys who are really pushing, and they've really done the work, and I can't wait to see them all get some wins under their belt.
We know that whoever win the Cage Warriors title automatically enter into the UFC. For example, Conor McGregor, Michael Bisping, Modestas Bukauskas, and
Joe Vage, I can't say her name. JJ. Yeah.
What do you think about this guy?
So Cage Warriors is the best European promotion by far. The amount of fighters they turn over in UFC is just unbelievable. Like, I think we're up to 95 or 96 now. So it's like I said, it's just a matter of time until I get signed, and it's just all about working and work my way through Cage Warriors, so I can start working my way through UFC. Like I said, I'm with a brilliant promotion. It's the most professional organization I've seen, and it is by far the top promotion in Europe, especially for passing shows across. For passing fighters across into sort of UFC 1 Bellator. My route, I'd love to get into UFC, and I know that it's an inevitability for me. So that eventually I just keep working, I keep beating people, and the contract's going to come over and be passed my way.
Mason, are you inspired by any particular fighter?
Sorry, can you say that again?
Are you inspired by any particular fighter?
So this is a good question to me. I don't really aspire to fighters. I sort of I like to look at fighters and see them as targets and break their styles down and just sort of look for ways I can improve or how I beat certain fighters. I sort of don't like to hero worship fighters. Even sort of, I do appreciate what they've done. So, like, obviously a lot of people hate or love Conor McGregor, but Conor McGregor has done so much for the sport, and he's a big salesman. Ronda Rousey's another one. A lot of people hate Ronda Rousey, but again, what she did for women's MMA is untouchable. Like, no one's going to do what she did the way she did it. So, like, GSP's another one. In Canada, he's a massive, massive star, and he's known worldwide. Jose Aldo is known worldwide for everything he's done, and he's a massive hero in Brazil. John Jones in America. Like, these are the fighters that have really made sort of historical statements, and these are the guys that are going to get remembered.
Mason, before the quarantine or the lockdown, you preparing for some particular match?
Yeah, so I was preparing for Danilo Bellado?
Yes, an Italian guy.
And then obviously with the Corona stuff, that got in the way, so that he had problems. He couldn't fight. Then they found me a French guy. I can't remember his name, but I know his fight name was Crazy Legs. Good Olympic style taekwondo fighter, very good background. And then he had an eye infection, so he had to pull out. and then obviously Joe's name was passed across the table to me. I sort of believe in two types of preparation. So I'm prepared for no matter who I get to fight, no matter what name's passed across the desk, I'm always prepared for him. But then I also believe that for each fighter I'm given, I prepare specifically. So having to change between fighter to fighter did make a little bit of sort of difference in camp where I had to change and adapt to what I'm doing. But I sort of train so that I'm always improving. So I'm every area is constantly getting better, and it made no difference to me.
What do you think about Danilo Belluardo? He's an Italian guy. You see a match or highlights on YouTube?
Oh yeah, I watch a lot of his fights. Danilo's good. He's got a good background. He's got very good striking. So he's got underrated striking actually. I saw his fight against what's the Olympic wrestler? This guy's name. He thought it was his last fight in UFC before he got cut.
In the UFC Copenhagen, the guy who wins the Olympic.
That's the one, the Olympic gold medalist, or world gold medalist, whichever one. So I watched his fight against him. And like I said, he is underrated, and sort of he didn't get the best sort of run in UFC. But yeah, a fight with him would be perfect. I want to fight a UFC veteran, so if that's the name that comes up, I'm happy to take it. But yeah, I watched a lot of his fights. He had very good striking, good wrestling. I know he's got a good jiu-jitsu game. So he was a dangerous fighter, but someone I more than happily beat.
Mason, if you were asked to choose your next opponent, who would you like? I'd like to see you against Paddy Pimblett. This guy talk. This guy talk.
How did I do?
So shit about my country, you know, on Twitter, his Twitter account.
It doesn't really matter to me. Obviously, if Paddy's name come across the table, I'd be signing it. If Bilardo's names come across the counter, I'm signing it. A UFC veteran would be perfect for me, to be honest. Someone who sort of made the UFC level and has fought UFC guys that I could beat and show that I'm ready to be in UFC. That would sort of I think that'd sign my UFC contract itself. So it doesn't really matter. But like I said, a UFC preference, a UFC ex-veteran would be a preference, but it just depends on who they give me. I'm happy to fight wherever comes across. I'm going to be signing my name to it.
Mason, what are your plans for the future?
So we've spoken about it a lot, actually. I'm ready now to defend. I'm happy to keep beating people in Cage Warriors if that's what they want me to do. But if that UFC contract comes my way, I'm happy to sign. And I'd love to fight in Abu Dhabi on Fight Island. Otherwise, I'd love to fight over the States in Vegas, New York, California. Like, these are all places I want to fight, and these are all places I want to sort of showcase what I can do. So I'm happy for whatever, to be honest. I'm just going to keep chipping away, keep beating guys, and keep showing I'm the best in the world. And obviously, the caliber of opponents is going to keep increasing, and I'm just going to keep smashing people up.
Would you like to face someone in the roster of the UFC?
I'd love to. I don't think there's sort of a specific name I'd like, but sort of Dustin Poirier, Dan Hooker, Justin Gaethje, like those are the fights I really want. Like high-level strikers who have got sort of renowned reputations for being dangerous guys. Like they're the guys I want to be crossing gloves with, and those are the guys I want to be sort of testing myself against and showing how good I am. And those are the guys I need to be improving to fight. So whatever comes. I'm just happy to take it my way and take it in my stride, and I'll just earn my way through.
Mason, thanks for your time and for your availability. It was a pleasure to talk with you. Do you have something to say to your fans?
Yeah, so big thank you to you first for having me on. Obviously, it's nice to sort of share my experiences and sort of be sort of known a bit more on different parts of Europe and on the world. So thanks again for having me on. Big shout out to my sponsors. That's the first one. Tatami Fightwear is a big one. SD Sealants is another one. PP Builders, CCS Scaffolding, Patent Seekers, Condor Talent. Like these are all guys who help and sort of support me along the way. Big shout out to my coaches. Craig Ewers Academy, Greg Creel out of Celtic Pride, Pedro Bessa, Carl Betty Taekwondo, Pontypool Boxing. Who else have I missed out? Reece Jones at S&C, Paul Aaron Nutrition. That's another big sponsor of mine who really helps out. So all these guys are sort of helping push me that 1% better all the time. And that really helping me improve. So if I got one message to pass the fans, stay safe. Sort of the COVID stuff is still bad. Don't rush back to anything, because we want this done so that we can get back fighting in arenas. We've sold out crowds, and that's what we want. So take your time, stay healthy, look after your family, and obviously watch the next Cage Warriors card. Follow me on Instagram, follow me on Twitter, follow me on Facebook. My Instagram's the best, so that's at Mason Jones 1995. And also give the video a replay, and give the video a share. If I do talk too fast in these videos, which I do get carried away with my strong accent, just give it a couple of views and you'll understand what I'm saying eventually. But thanks again for having me on. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you, Mason. See you next time.
Catch you soon. Thanks, boss.